Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to round 4 of the Kumo FIA TCR World Tour here at the Circuit Moulay Al Hassan in Marrakesh. My name is Paul Jeffrey, up here in the commentary box, and I am delighted to welcome you all to this afternoon's broadcast. And I'm delighted to welcome Alex Le Gouy down on the grid, getting ready to capture a few words from some of our drivers and personalities ahead of this second race of the weekend. It is scorching temperatures. It is perfect conditions to go motor racing once again. And after a great race earlier today, we're expecting a fantastic one. So let's go down to Alex on the grid for a quick word from our drivers.
Hello everybody, welcome to Africa Race of Morocco. Here we are, it's the Kumo FIA TCR World Tour, and I am down on the grid ahead of race 2. Race 1 was rather entertaining. Lynk & Co are dominating this weekend. They converted their qualifying P1, their pole sitter, Jan Erlache, dominated the race and took the top step on the podium, followed very closely by Santi Urrutia, so 1-2 for Lynk & Co. Nobby Michelitz, current reigning champion and points leader as we came into this weekend, now extends his lead in the overall standings as he was on the podium P3. Not an overly majorly dramatic race of race 1, but there was a little bit of a tussle between our current poleman for race 2, Mar, and number 2, Esteban Guerrieri. So I am going to make my way through to speak to Mar, first of all to find out how he's feeling ahead of race 2. Here we are. It's a very busy grid. Having pictures. I best we don't interrupt. Mar, let me just grab a quick word with you. So here we are. You've had race 1, quite an entertaining race 1 from your end anyway. Now you're at the front, but you do have a rather feisty Spaniard right behind you in the form of Esteban Guerrieri.
Oh, yes, it's going to be an intense start, I think, again. Yeah, well, in the race 1, I think I did a really good start. Nice race, some fights in this tiny circuit. So, yeah, I was trying to push and get more points. That was quite a good race for me. Then race 2, start on pole. Yeah, let's see. I want to do everything super clean, then try to make the pace and try to make the gap. And yeah, I will see you probably in the end of the front.
Good, well, we look forward to it. Right. Elbows wide as you go into that first corner, because I do not think that Esteban, excuse me guys, sorry, we're coming through. I don't think Esteban is going to make it easy. And I mean, Esteban's pretty known for his good starts. I'm hoping that we can find him somewhere. Just for information, so earlier on, the temperature was about 32 degrees on the grid. And I think it was Santi that said in the car it gets up to about 60 degrees. Bearing in mind, they have no air conditioning. It is absolutely scorching and really tricky for these drivers to manage themselves, but also the cars. Biggest challenge, obviously maintaining the car's pace and dealing with tyre management, or dealing with other drivers, which this gentleman here, Dusan Borkovic, felt rather unhappily in race 1. Hello, Dusan. I'm just going to undo this. Sorry about that. But I just thought I'd come and say hello, see how you are. Nice to have you here at the Race of Morocco. Tricky race 1. What can you do for race 2?
Nice to have you again here. I'm so happy for that, and I'm also happy to be part of the World Championship again. And I had a good results in the qualifying yesterday. Now P3 on the second race, so I just have to start good, because in the past I didn't have some good start with this car. Everything is new for me without so many tests. So I will just try to be on the podium for my fans in Serbia and also here.
Fingers crossed, power's on. My apologies, team. I've taken down your... Okay, yeah, so Dusan Borkovic there. He had a tricky race 1. He had contact with Sami, but there was no further investigation done there. Another gent who's having a bit of a torrid weekend is poor old Julian Piguet, who I think he made contact with a tyre wall, potentially, in qualifying, and gearbox issues in race 1. Boys, what are you talking about? Tell me, tell me.
We're talking about the strategy.
We wishing good luck each other. We are having great race in the first one, so yes, wishing good luck to the rivals.
True story?
Yeah, for sure.
Very nice guy.
He is a nice
yeah.
guy. He's all right, isn't
We
he?
start close, so
Yeah.
we are talking about that.
A little gentleman's agreement going on here.
I was telling that for the first time in a TCR in the World Championship, he was so fast, so I was just saying he's so good.
How is it to be racing alongside these, rather tricky racers, aren't they, in the TCR?
Really tricky, yeah. I hope to be better on the race too.
Can you practice? Have you been practicing your start since race 1?
Especially on the start, exactly. The weather is very hot. The race will be very long, so I will push a lot. Okay, I'll try to do the best.
Well, you're certainly in the mix of it, and it sounds like you might have Mikel on your side, so good. I look forward to seeing how you get on. Nice to have Julian in the field. So we've technically heard from Mikel. Gosh, it's a lot busier now, and very nice to have everybody on the grid. We had a really nice a really nice autograph session between race 1 and race 2. Jean-Philippe kept himself out of mischief in race 1. Good peddler and doing well in this TCR series. Let's have a chat to Bebu. Right, sir, you're a little far back to potentially do much in race 2, but from your perspective, what can you do?
Yeah, I mean, it's always, as I said before, challenging race. I think the brakes will suffer more in this race than the previous one. Temperature has risen a lot, so we need to take care about brakes, tires. It's very challenging because it's 36 laps and everything can happen, so we try to survive the first lap and then trying to see where we are in the race.
Good. Well, power's on. Vamos, Bebu. Bebu had a nice win in Vallelunga. Both he and his teammate Norby Michelitz took both race wins, actually, in Vallelunga. Norby, current points leader. Now, if you're watching race 1, if you just have an observation of Norby, then he tends to be very calm on the grid. He's one of the sorts of drivers that will do some visualization. He breathes, he meditates, he generally doesn't like to be disturbed, which is fair enough. Despite having 40 kilos of weight after such a successful Vallelunga, he was very quick, had a good qualifying session. He thought that it would massively affect his race pace. It's a tricky street circuit. There are not many places to overtake, but still, he did very well in race 1, as did this gentleman here, who was on the podium alongside his teammate Jan, who's just behind. What can you boys do during this? Is this just a case of damage limitation, or are you, now that you know that you've got the pace, are you on for the battle?
It's another race, you know, it brings 30 points to the win, so of course we are in the reverse grid, so we will try to maximize the points as much as we can. It is tough to overtake, so we will do whatever it takes to move forward, but it's better to finish behind the DNF. So let's see. There is some guys at the front that probably are not the pace that we have, so let's see about the tires. I think it's 10 more degrees than race 1, so let's see what we can do.
I dread to think what it's like in the car. It must be absolutely insane. There's me complaining about it, and I'm wearing shorts and a shirt. Right, let's go down and see if we can at least have a look at Jan, who now brings his total to 4 TCR wins, thanks to converting his pole to a race win during race 1. He's just sitting down there, rehydrating in the shade a little bit, and he's wearing a cooling vest. Jan, talk to us about this and what benefit or how much difference does it make?
It doesn't make a huge difference, but at least some degrees. It's very hot here, so it will be even more when we will sit in the car. So yeah, no, we try to keep the body as cool as possible, as long as possible.
Good. Well done for race 1. What can you do for race 2?
I will try to keep the car in one piece. Will not be easy. Will be challenging with 9 cars starting in front of us. We will try to avoid chaos, make position if we can at the start and a bit at the end of the race with the tire degradation. But yeah, we will look at ourselves first and make a good run.
Well, we look forward to the race. I look forward to the race. I hope you do too. And make sure you're watching. Let's go.
Alex Le Gui down there on the grid. Thank you very much. Excellent work as always, and a big warm welcome to each and every one of you at home that have tuned in to the TCR TV YouTube channel for this second and final race of the weekend, round 4 of the Kumo FIA TCR World Tour here on the street circuit of Marrakesh. If you missed race 1 this morning, you missed out on a great race. It's a tight, it's a twisty circuit. There's a fair bit of drama, and there was a great win for Frenchman Yann Aleshay at the front of the field. Since then, the temperatures continue mercilessly to rise. It is 32 degrees centigrade air temperature and a track temperature of 59.5 degrees C. We heard about it at the beginning of the race this morning. That car temperatures inside the cockpit are around 65 degrees centigrade. We heard from Bebo Girolami on the grid just now that he's expecting the brakes to come under a lot more pressure this race than we saw in the first one. All this adds up to what should be a drama-fueled race. I can't believe I'm going to say this just now, but we had no red flags in race 1. Yes, watching at home, I have immediately put the knockers on that one, and we're almost certain to get a red flag here in race 2. But everybody kept it clean. This is touring car racing, however. Race 2 is always the one that's a little bit crazier, and we're not in the next round at Mid-Ohio till the 8th of June. So there's a bit of repair time between now and then as well for the teams and drivers. What does that mean? That means a lot of people are going to have very sharpened elbows indeed. We saw with the overtakes from Ted Bjork and Marc Inglois on Esteban Gurriere, the way to pass round here is to be a little bit on the aggressive side. Ideally less aggressive than they were, but aggressive nonetheless. Tintop Racing couldn't be better. Somebody who couldn't really expect more from their weekend than they've had so far is that man as well, Julien Piguet, having a fantastic debut. Stood with Mikel Azcona on the grid. Mikel congratulating him on his performance at a World Championship touring car level straight away. Julien Piguet comes from the world of endurance GT racing. He's new to front-wheel drive tin tops, has been quick all weekend long, and then we'll be starting this race from 4th position, the back of the second row of the grid. Big opportunity for the French driver and the Team Claret Sport Audi to have themselves a strong day of racing, pick up some good points and get a little bit of glory on the world stage. Mikel Azcona, for his measure, starts in 5th position. He's got an opportunity to score big and take away some points in the overall Kumo FIA TCR World Tour standings to his BRC Hyundai N Squadra Corsa teammates. John Philippi, representing Volcano Motorsport, second weekend that he's been with this team, having made his debut with Volcano for rounds 1 and 2 of the World Tour a couple of weeks ago at Vallelonga. John has been devastatingly efficient as always this weekend. Came home in a strong 6th position in race 1. We'll be starting from exactly that spot in race 2, courtesy of the reverse grid qualification from yesterday afternoon. Bebo Girolami, he's another man that is in his second weekend for a new team. He joined the BRC Hyundai N Squadra Corsa outfit over the course of the winter. Girolami started that relationship in the best way possible with a race 2 victory at Vallelonga. Earlier on today, he came home a very strong 4th, shadowing Norbert Michaelis, his teammate and reigning champion. Girolami, for his part, will be starting in 7th. Lot of work to do should the Argentine driver wish to make his way up through the field over the course of this upcoming 36-lap race. A lot of work as well for that man that we briefly saw on board, Mehdi Benani, the Moroccan driver. Relatively strong in practice. A mistake and contact with the barriers in qualification has done no help whatsoever to his overall race prospects. Benani, more problems during the race 1 as well. He's going to be starting this race in front of his home crowd in 12th position. Benani will be looking to latch onto the back of the likes of Aleshay and Urrutia early doors to see if he can use those Lincoln Co. Scion racing cars to help him carve through the pack in the sole Cupra that we've got on the grid today, the Cupra Leon VZ, by the way. Brand new car, very, very competitive indeed. Came into the opening round of TCR Europe that was alongside the same weekend as the World Tour at Vallelonga, and that car won both races. Different drivers, different teams, both race victories. So we know the Cupra's fast. We know Bernardi is a very experienced driver, and we know he's a very quick one as well on home soil. We'll keep our eyes on him as the racing begins. One short formation lap here at Marrakesh. It's only a 1.23 mile circuit, so they'll navigate their way around really quickly. Join the grid for a standing start, as is always the case in the world of the Kumo FIA TCR World Tour. And then lots of noise will happen. There'll be lots of launching off the line, and hopefully we get into a 36 lap spectacular here on the streets of Marrakesh. Several drivers to keep an eye on, courtesy of the reverse grid race 2. Of course, our race 1 winner and pole sitter, Jan Elche, starts all the way down in 10th. There is Jan with the pink wing mirrors. That's the easiest way to spot him. Ted Bjork with the yellow highlights on the wing mirror. That's the quickest way to spot the basically identical cars, apart from their wing mirror and flashings colour scheme. Ted Bjork had a quiet race last time around, it has to be said. Bit of contact, bit of drama. Got himself a 5-second penalty as well, and that unfortunately pushed Ted down to 8th position in the overall finishing spots. Bjork starts 11th on the grid for this race. He'll be hoping for a strong start and a strong opening few laps to move himself up the running order and put himself in best position for a healthy haul of points. Marching then on pole from Esteban Gurrieri and Dusan Borkovic. In 3rd place, Julian Piguet will start in 4th. Mikel Azcona will be 5th alongside John Felipe. In 7th is Bebo Girolami from Norbert Michelis. 9th, Santiago Urrutia and Jan Elche. In 10th, Ted Bjork, Mehdi Benani, Sami Taufik, Victor Fernandez and Marco Butti make up our grid, which are just falling into place now. There is the man with the green flag, checking that everything is above board and okay, which it is. The green flag waves and we're about to go racing for the Kumo FIA TCR World Tour round 4 here at Marrakesh. The lights are red and we are go in Marrakesh, and that looks like a very strong start indeed for Esteban Gurrieri. Drags down into T1, contact between himself and Marching War. Mar has the inside line, he makes it through. Mikel Azcona makes it through as well, but Norbert Michelis sideways for Norbert. Contact in the opening corners. Does he get that Hyundai pointing in the right direction? There is damage as well for Girolami, I think that is potentially. We'll check that out in a moment. Several cars carrying damage. There is Bebo Girolami on the right rear quarter of that Hyundai. Look a little bit further back as well, and there is several bits of bodywork flailing on Norbert Michelis' machine. This is disaster for the Hungarian driver. There is Michelis coming under pressure from the 199 of Marco Butti. Butti makes it through. Michelis sheds the bumper now on the front of that car, so that is good stuff for Norbert to get that damage clear. No need to worry about the meatball flag from the stewards, but Marco Butti up in 8th position. Taufik makes a position as well past Mehdi Benani, so that's good news for Sami Taufik. To the inside comes Ted Bjork and Santiago Urrutia as well, so they're making their way up through the field. 12th and 13th position. Some kind of drama has befallen those on the opening laps. We're riding on board with Santiago Urrutia right there and then, but big dramas here in Marrakesh. Damage for Norbert Michelis, our leader of the points, our reigning champion in the Kumo FIA TCR World Tour. This is exactly what he does not want. This is the danger that we worried about, and now will that prove to be terminal damage? Jan Elche, his championship rival, directly behind Norbert Michelis. Marching Juan leads from Esteban Gurrieri. Dusan Borkovic is sensing blood in the water in 3rd position. Julian Piguet does a good job to hold on. And this is Sami Taufik. Sami Taufik around the outside of Jan Elche, runs out of racing room, runs out of grip. Taufik runs a little bit deep after that one. We'll find out exactly how that one transpires when we go back. There we go. That is Taufik, so it doesn't make his way past Jan Elche. But points for trying. Ted Bjork next up, trying to have a little nibble at the back of the Volcano Motorsports machine ahead. Sami Taufik, though, on home soil. He promised us yesterday he's going to put a show on for the fans. Not many people go around the outside of Jan Elishay and get away with it. That is bravery personified from the young Moroccan driver in the Audi. And that's happening here. Look at the top of the ship. There it is, Michaelis. Michaelis deep into the final corner. Was he pushed or did he make a mistake? But whatever happened, Norbert Michaelis, now the door is wide open for Jan Elishay, who's got a little bit of smoke coming from the front corner of the car. All three of the Lincoln Co. Cyan racing machines make it past Norbert Michaelis. There is damage definitely on Jan Elishay's machine at the front of this little trio of cars. Mehdi Banani now trying to find a way past Norbe. We promise you a bit of drama in this one, and drama we are already having in these opening corners. Norbe, smoke flailing from the front right hand side of that BRC Hyundai. I do fear that this is not looking good for Norbert Michaelis' long-term prospects of finishing this race. Banani has a sniff to the inside, no room there. Michaelis gamely trying to keep that car on the racetrack in some kind of competitive order, but Norby in all sorts of pain at this stage in the race. I do fear that our Hungarian reigning champion may well be looking at a very hard afternoon's work indeed, even if he can keep that car on the racetrack. Jan Elishay, that we saw, had a little bit of smoke coming from the front of his car as well. Maybe contact, maybe some other intermediate dramas, but Elishay still running strongly as things stand in 10th position. There we see then the little train of cars. Norby in the 105, carrying that damage. I hope for Norby's sake that he can continue running. Dusan Borkovic at the front of the field having a little look. Sami Taufik having an even bigger look, and an even bigger look still is Marco Butti at the back of our shot in the Honda. Butti to the outside, to the inside, but still not finding a Honda-sized gap alongside Mikel Azcona. Lights are ablaze though on the Italian driver's car. Big dramas here in Marrakesh. Lap 6 already, courtesy of such a short circuit. And there is a mistake. Julien Piquet running deep, going very slowly indeed. Has the French driver made contact with something or someone? Julien Piquet, such a strong start to the race after a good qualifying, but I do fear that Claret Sport Audi is heading straight to retirement. That is a big shame for Julien Piquet. There is Michaelis and Fernandez going through as well. Norbe struggling now without the front end attached to that Hyundai. Julien Piquet not quite sure exactly what's been going on there, but the French driver circulating incredibly slowly indeed at the back of the field. After all the praise from Mikel Azcona, it has fallen apart very quickly indeed for Julien Piquet. Real shame for the French driver, the GT driver. Let's take a quick look then at the replay of race start. Good launch from Gurrieri. Contact between Azcona and John Philippi as well. Then secondary contact with Piquet. Then that's Michaelis. Look at Norbert Michaelis sideways. Extra contact from Jan Elishay. I missed that on the live, but Elishay and Banani had to go the other side of the barrier to avoid all of this drama. This will be a good shot. This is on board with Banani. The two really slow starting Lincoln Co's that we saw there. Ted Bjork dropping to the back and Santiago Urrutia. And then this is the Norby and Jan. No option for Banani other than to get out of the way and go down the escape road. This is on board with Mikel Azcona, another driver. Good launch off the line. That's the first contact that we spoke about. There's going to be a secondary contact again with Julien Piquet. There we go. That's a hard hit for Mikel Azcona. And then this is Sami Taufik, like a scolded rat off the line. Absolutely incredible launch. Makes his way past the two slow starting Lincoln Co's, and then everything breaks loose into T1. Taufik does well, and that's it. Santiago Urrutia. Is that a stall? That's a stall from the Uruguayan driver. That's why himself and Ted Bjork were held up very harsh off of the line. Kind of worked out well in a way for Santi, because he avoided all of the chaos that would later ensue. And we mentioned this during the practice starts in free practice 2, how very easy it is to stall one of these cars off of the line. Not saying that was driver error, could have been a technical problem, could have been a setting, of course, as well. But it's so easy to not get the launch that you were looking to get, and that's exactly what happened to Santiago Urrutia. The reasons why are irrelevant. The end result is still the same. Santiago now all the way down in 11th position. He's made his way past Mehdi Banani, the hobbling Norbert Michaelis, and Victor Fernandez, who just does not have the pace this weekend in the GOAT Racing Honda. But at the front of the field, Ma Qinghua is oblivious to all of these dramas. Serenely, the Chinese driver is at the front of the field with no competition from Esteban Gurrieri. Last time around for Ma, a 50.6, a 51.1 for Esteban Gurrieri. And there is Julien Piguet in the garage. That is the BRC squad. Gabriele Tarquini looking on. Frustration, I am sure, for the Italian outfit as their man Norbert Michaelis is struggling down in 13th position. This is Santiago Urrutia, though, following that drama, closed up very quickly indeed, it has to be said, to Ted Bjork and Jan Elysée. Elysée carrying a little bit of damage of his own, courtesy of the tight squeeze down into T1. Elysée, where was he on the timing tower? At 51.3 last time around, so not quite as quick as we expect, but doesn't seem to be too negatively impacted thus far. This is a replay of the very smoky Jan Elysée. Ted Bjork at this stage is behind his teammate, although the astute of you will notice the Swedish driver is now past Elysée. Gabriele Tarquini, hands on hips, doesn't like that one bit. These opening few corners. There is Ma Qinghua, though, enjoys every moment of what's been happening in this race, it has to be said. Ma in a very comfortable lead, 2.8 seconds to the good from Esteban Gurrieri with just 11 laps in the books. Now it's all about pace management and race management for Ma Qinghua. Look after the car, look after the brakes, look after yourself in these weather conditions. Stroke it home to the checkered flag. Good stuff from Ma Qinghua. Esteban Gurrieri looking to add to his podium tally here in the Kumo FIA TCR World Tour to go with his third place at Valle Longa, doing good work. Sami Taufik and Marco Buti swap positions off screen. Taufik up in a 7th position. There is the Moroccan driver just ahead. There is Italian rival, so Marco Buti loses a further place. Sami Taufik, don't know what he had for lunch, but whatever it was, it's working an absolute treat with the Moroccan driver. Now with a fully pointed in the right direction Audi, is doing very well indeed for Volcano Motorsports. Up into 7th place following the dramas of qualification yesterday. Sami Taufik, he promised us a little bit of drama. He promised us putting a show on for the fans at home. He's doing just that at this moment in time. He's got a gap between himself and Mikel Afkona, and then his teammate John Philippi in 5th just ahead. Philippi, we just saw at the top of the screen there, got a compromised exit from the final turn. That puts him under pressure. Azcona to the outside. Philippi covers the inside line. No room for the Spanish driver to find a way past. But Mikel Azcona will be hungry to find any opportunity to clear that Volcano Motorsport Audi and prevent any kind of threat from the charging Sami Taufik behind. Nice and clean through the chicane from both drivers. Azcona has Bebu Girolami. He's one of the big movers, is Bebu Girolami from qualification. He started in 7th. He's had a good opening 13 laps, up in a 4th position, chasing down Dusan Borkovic for the bottom step of the podium. Borkovic himself having a great race. And there is Jan Elysée. Look how much Elysée is struggling in comparison to Ted Bjork, who's now very far clear, riding on board with Santiago Urrutia. He gets the job done, and Jan Elysée jumps down pit lane. That's a real shame for Jan. His bad luck streak continues here this season, and in Marrakesh in particular. A little bit of debris catching the front of the car in qualifying practice. That held him up not too badly, and a great win in race 1. But Jan Elysée down pit lane, that is not going to help whatsoever in his quest to take the Kumo FIA TCR World Tour. It's a relatively short year that we have in the World Tour, and we know from experience, not just in touring car racing, but in the World Tour in particular, consistency and the consistent banking of points is what gives you prizes at the end of the year. So Jan Elysée on pit road for his sake. Let's hope whatever dramas that car has befallen can be rectified and Jan can get back out there and score a few more points Big damage. In fact, no, Jan is out of the car. That is a disaster for French driver Jan Elichet. Out of the car, the damage tells its own story on the front of that Lincoln Co. And Jan Elichet, nil point this weekend, this race for Jan Elichet. Big disaster for the French driver. He joins Julien Piillet in retirement with just 15 laps off 36 on the books. And that allows Norbert Michaelis up into 12th position. 13 cars still running. 36 laps will be our designated race distance. We're on lap 16 of those. Marchingois has a 2.560 second lead at the front of the field from Esteban Guerriere. Debrief time for Jan Elichet. Not looking like a happy chappy, and understandably so. An early retirement was not on the play card for this race. Elichet from 10th on the grid. These are the dangers of reverse grid races, folks at home, of course. You may get pole for race 1, but you're right in the firing line of the drama in race 2. And on a street circuit like Marrakesh, often there's quite a bit of exchanging of paint, shall we say, between a touring car driver or two. And that has paid the price for Jan Elichet. So at the front of the field, we still see a bit of a battle between Sami Taufik. Is closing that gap down very nicely indeed. Last time around, Taufik a 50.9 plays a 51.142 for Mikel Azcona ahead. 10th by 10th, corner by corner, lap by lap. Sami Taufik is wheeling himself into position to have a challenge of the cars ahead. Azcona a little bit locked up into the final corner. No harm, no foul though for Mikel there. He will survive that one. You don't want to be locking up too much though. You don't want to be putting unnecessary wear and tear on the Kumo tyres and the brakes of these cars. Conditions are exceptionally warm here in Marrakesh. It's going to be a hard challenge, not just for the drivers, but for the machinery underneath them as well. Taufik though does not care one iota about any of that one. This is not car preservation mode from Sami Taufik in a 2-1-2. He is desperate to close up and see what he can do about his teammate in Mikel Azcona as well. John Philippi a little bit out of shape into the final corner. We saw in race 1 that Philippi started to bleed lap time towards the end of the race. It looks like that's beginning to happen again as well. He's clearly holding up Mikel Azcona now. And look at this one, just one corner's worth of drama for Philippi and Azcona, and that has brought Sami Taufik right in to the conversation. The Moroccan driver now, he knows this is a golden opportunity to put a show on for the fans, to get his season off and running again following a disappointing double DNF in Vallelonga. And the dramas of race 1 here in Marrakesh. It was only 10th position for Taufik. He's looking like a whole bunch more points in this race, and potentially even an opportunity to put one up and over his teammate John Philippe at the front of this little battle pack. As again, Azcona so much quicker through that final corner. A flash of the lights to vent his displeasure at John Philippe, trying to put the French driver off. Taufik looks to the outside. You ain't going to get no joy there, sunshine. Tries to cut the car back to the inside again. Mikel Azcona will be wishing he had a Boy Racer body kit on that car to make it a little bit wider, because Sami Taufik has got all the body language and indications that he's going to come through, come rain or shine, on that 196 ahead. Mikel Azcona has a decision point. Exactly how hard do you want to push a hungry driver behind on his home soil, desperate for a big result? Azcona, especially aware that teammate Michaelis is in strife down in 12th position. He'll be hungry for a whole hatful of points. Last thing the Spanish driver can wish for is a DNF at this stage, so he'll be ultra aware of the threat from behind. While these two squabble, that gives John Philippi a little bit of breathing room to try and gap these two. He's going to be keen to get himself out of the firing line of Azcona. Give Taufik the opportunity to have a challenge on the Spaniards' rear bumper. John Philippi does not want to be involved in this one. He wants to concentrate on going forward, not looking in the rear view mirror. Sami Taufik has only one job, and that's to clear the BRC Hyundai ahead. Taufik still working hard. Pepe Oriola likes that one. He knows a thing or two about touring car racing. He's enjoying the show that he's seeing. Hopefully you're enjoying the show as well. And Sami Taufik are enjoying things a whole lot more if he can find some space. Contact to the rear quarter. Mikel Azcona. Taufik went for a gap that did not exist. Some say that makes you a racing driver. On that particular occasion, though, that's a gap that doesn't exist. Sami Taufik lucky to get away with that one. Mikel Azcona gathers the car together again, so he continues on his merry way as well. It's difficult to pass here at Marrakesh, but that one definitely wasn't on the cards when Taufik made the move. Signal of intent, rat-a-tat-tat, Morse code. Well, more than Morse code, quite a hearty thump on the back of Mikel Azcona's car. Both drivers do survive, though. Let's take a look at that one again. Trying to do a carbon copy. There was briefly the smallest opportunity. Azcona closed the door, though, long before Taufik got alongside. Sideways, Gabriele Tarquini. You've done that one a fair few times yourself, young man. Gabriele Tarquini, a wry smile, not very happy. No doubt messaging the steward straight away. Not fair play from Sami Taufik, according to Gabriele Tarquini there. But Mikel Azcona does survive, holds on to that 6th position, and that means that John Philippi now has the golden opportunity to run and scamper away from these two, give himself a little bit of breathing space and see if he can do anything about Bebu Girolami ahead. Yet another lock-up from Azcona. That car does not look comfortable under the Spanish driver at this stage. Azcona does seem to be fighting a bit of a losing battle with the balance of the Hyundai Elantra N TCR. Plenty of lock wheels, sideways as well. You have to be a little bit sideways to be quick here at Marrakesh, but Azcona certainly having a wild ride, not helped by Sami Taufik, almost as one glued to the back of that Elantra. Taufik again just showing his nose into T1, keeping the car cool, but also letting him know that there is some excitement happening in front. Azcona will be wise to keep an eye on the rear view mirror to make sure there are no small sliver of opportunities for Sami Taufik. And while they fight, that allows Italian driver, GOAT racing driver Marco Butti to get himself involved in this one as well. Marco Butti having a very solid opening stint of this race. Marco Butti not far away from joining this conversation as well, and having a little look at the rear of Sami Taufik. The Moroccan driver, Sami Taufik, needs to make his move very soon indeed, otherwise he's going to quickly find himself in a defensive action from the chasing cars behind. Butti, there you see, and then Ted Bjork for good measure as well. Popping through the final turn. Black and white flag we saw briefly for somebody on track there. I'm not seeing anything on my timing screens as to why that was. Hopefully that'll pop up on our screen shortly. But Marco Butti, Ted Bjork, that we're looking at there as well, minus a bit of wing mirror. Pushing it to the limits as always is Ted. Doesn't need to worry about wing mirrors though, because that's for looking backwards. Whoa! Azcona sideways, just skirting around those tyre stacks, and we've seen this before. Touch a tyre stack, say goodbye to the prospect of finishing a race. Mikel Azcona wringing the neck of that Hyundai in fine style is the Spanish driver. Not paying him back though at this moment in time, struggling to close up to the rear of John Philippi's car, struggling to hold off the advances of Sami Taufik behind Mikel Azcona. A meet in a volcano sandwich, which is not where you need to be on a track where there is precisely zero room for something to go wrong. While we continue to watch this absorbing battle, it is still marching qua 2.1 seconds to the good at the front of the field for Link & Co. Cyan Racing from Esteban Gurriere and Dusan Borkovic. GOAT Racing 2 and 3 as things stand. And then we pick up Bebu Girolami, John Philippi, Mikel Azcona, and this man, Sami Taufik, aboard the Volcano Audi. Look at that, Azcona again locking those tyres. Again, that's going to be putting extra stress, extra pressure on the tyres, on the brakes of that Hyundai. Azcona's going to have to be a little bit careful. That could come back and hurt him as the races unfold. Dusan Borkovic, tallest man in motorsport. It's hard for me to say as a 6'5" bloke. I expect that to be me, but it is Dusan Borkovic. Fantastic driver, racing in TCR Europe this year, coming into this race of Morocco as a guest driver for Goat Racing and doing a very, very good job indeed to be on the bottom step of the podium. First time in FIA international competition in a touring car since 2015. The big Serbian driver doing a very good job indeed, shadowing his teammate and World Tour full-timer Esteban Gurrieri. Second and third for Goat Racing. The Pepe Oriola run squad, very impressive once again from that outfit. Last time around, Gurrieri was a 51 flat, sorry, a 51.1 versus a 50.6 for Ma Qinghua. So Ma still has the pace at the front of the field. He doesn't have to deal with any traffic or any drama from behind. Ma can just carry that car through to the checkered flag, unlike this man, Sami Taufik, that has been pushing pretty much since the lights went green. Taufik, you can see it in his eyes all weekend long, the hunger of Sami Taufik to perform in front of his home fans, speaking to him in Vallelunga when we did the city tour, and all he could think about was racing on home soil in Marrakesh. So looking forward to putting on a performance at home, and he's doing an incredible job, it has to be said. He's been away from touring cars as Sami Taufik for a little while now. So not only bedding into a new team and a new series, getting used to being a race car driver again. Somebody who's not need to worry though about that is Mikel Azcona. He got a good launch off of the final turn, flashes lights, John Philippi goes defensive. Azcona couldn't find a way past, but he does lock into T1 once again. Manages to keep the car fairly stable despite that locked front wheel not really opening the door for Taufik. I did think that would present an opportunity for Taufik to get a run sideways through the chicane from Azcona. That works nicely on this occasion. Closes back up again to John Philippi, but Philippi is, for sure, the cork in this particular bottle. He's dictating the pace that Azcona can go up behind, and that is dictating the opportunity for Sami Taufik to continue his charge and try and close to the back of the Spanish driver. Marco Butti doesn't quite have the legs enough to get into this fight and make it a four-way battle. He's concentrating on hitting his marks and giving no opportunities for Ted Bjork. Azcona a little bit wide over the bump into T1. Very tricky opening corner here at Marrakesh. But on this occasion, Azcona, no real harm done from that one. He has fallen a few short centimetres away from Philippi again. And that still keeps Sami Taufik in the position where he wants to have a nibble. He has a look, thinks about the inside line, decides better of it. The last corner is the place to attack. We're right on board with Sami's car now, into the left, then the right. Then that's the last corner. The opportunity, though, line covered very firmly by Mikel Azcona. He's seen what happened in race one. He's aware of the little bit of rat-a-tat-tat love that he had earlier on from Taufik. Taufik to the inside, Azcona heavily defensive. This is going to compromise the Spanish driver massively on corner exit. Taufik runs all the way up to the wall, tries to get the launch, cannot find an Audi-sized gap alongside Azcona, though Azcona still retains that position. But now the Spaniard, car number 196, very firmly on the defensive is the BRC Hyundai N Squadra Corsa driver. Sami Taufik doesn't seem to be suffering quite so much from pace drop-off that we saw in race one, especially for John Philippi. So Taufik still has the car underneath him. The question is, can he find the space he needs to make his way past? Philippi a little bit slow through that final turn. Another flash of the lights from Mikel Azcona. That will do absolutely nothing to put John Philippi off. Cool as ice. Needs to be in these weather conditions, does Frenchman John Philippi. As long as he makes no mistakes, you could even maybe think about just slowing down a little bit and backing Azcona up into teammate Taufik. But Philippi will be keen to add to his sixth position. Taufik again, side by side. Azcona decides to exit stage right. Runs over the escape road in the chicane. They were very close together. I don't think there was contact between the two of them, but Mikel Azcona bailed on that particular incident. Carries on, still holds that position. In fact, Azcona has a problem. Taufik is past. Azcona again on the escape road, gets out of the way completely. Mikel Azcona, some kind of dramas on the BRC car down pit lane. Mikel Azcona, the staunch defence, comes to an end with some kind of problem for Mikel Azcona. Sami Taufik, not the way he expected, but he gets the position, moves himself up, and Mikel Azcona, what is happening here behind the wheel of that Hyundai Elantra? The BRC squad will be scratching their heads, but Mikel Azcona, some kind of drama. Was it mechanical? Was it contact? We don't know. Rear wheels are coming off, a new set of Kumo tyres are going on, but Mikel Azcona, such a good defensive drive as that locking up finally paid a price for that one. I don't know exactly what's going on. There is seemingly no damage on the bodywork of that car, but the end result is the same anyway. Mikel Azcona in pit lane. Hopefully they'll get him back out so he can circulate and pick up a few minor points, impassively looking on. Gabriele Tarquini there, and the BRC Hyundai squad, Gabriele Rizzo in the background as well there, just talking on the intercom. But that's a real shame for Mikel Azcona. He's back out on the racetrack once again though, so 13th position now. He will pick up a handful of points. He will be classified having completed enough laps if he makes it to the end. 13th, just 3 points is not the reward that the Spanish driver would have been looking for coming into this race, and it's been a real disaster for the BRC squad. Beppu Girolami is still very much untouched in 4th position, the last uninterrupted, unimpeded of the Hyundai drivers. There is Girolami that you see just a few car lengths at the back of this fight between Esteban Gurrieri and Dusan Borkovic. Gurrieri 2nd, Borkovic 3rd position. Dusan though will be wise not to challenge his teammate, as Gurrieri, of course, is a full-timer in the Kumo FIA TCR World Tour. Borkovic here on a guest appearance. The points are more valuable to go to the way of the Argentine driver, so Borkovic will be on a protective mission coming into the final few laps of this race, as Girolami threw a shot there, then John Philippi, and then the charging Sami Taufik up into 6th. Now that BRC Hyundai and Squadra Corsa machines out of his way, but Taufik, I do fear, with a couple of laps to go, has got too big a job ahead of him to close up to his teammate and challenge John Philippe ahead. Having lost Mikel Azcona, that also promotes Ted Bjork into 8th, Marco Butti into 7th, Santiago Urrutia, after that failed launch away from the line, gets up in a 9th, and Mehdi Banane on his return to motor racing, on his return to world competition in touring cars at home, is running in 10th position as things stand. There is Azcona through your shot there. He's back on the racetrack, Marco Butti, that we can see just ahead of us with Ted Bjork for company behind. Azcona, of course, is no longer in that particular fight, so he's not racing for position. He is a lap down. Azcona, some new tyres on the back of the car, whatever dramas, seemingly out of the way and okay. It's good that Mikel Azcona gets back on the racetrack and, as I say, can circulate around and pick up a hatful of points towards his Kumo FIA TCR World Tour Challenge. A lot of concerned faces, the BRC Hyundai and Squadra Corsa team on pit wall. No such worries though for that man Ma Qinghua. Fantastic performance from the Chinese driver here. Resplendent in his new haircut, very cool looking man indeed. And Ma Qinghua will be completely unruffled during the course of this race. He started from pole position, courtesy of qualifying in 10th in qualification yesterday afternoon, benefited from the reverse grid to start from pole position, and he takes the checkered flag. Ma Qinghua takes the checkered flag, and with it, the race victory here in the Kumo FIA TCR World Tour. Round 4 in Marrakesh, from pole to victory. Chinese driver in a Chinese car. Ma Qinghua takes the win from Esteban Gurrieri, and Dusan Borkovic rounds out the podium finishers. Handshakes all round at BRC as Beppu Girolami. In fact, what's happened to Girolami? Is that my timing screen or is that something on track? But it's saying that Girolami is 5th and that John Philippi is 4th. I'll wait for some confirmation on that one. Saw nothing on track. And they weren't particularly close together on the circuit either, so Girolami, not quite sure. Maybe a little glitch on the timing screen, I think, is most realistic. But great driving all round from our field. Another race free of red flags, which is a rarity in Marrakesh, it has to be said. And the man of the moment, the dominant driver of the day, it's got to be that man, Ma Qinghua. Superb performance for Ma, converted in great style. The pole position, had a 7th place in race 1 earlier today, so he's the big scorer of the weekend for sure, and that's going to help his Kumo FIA TCR World Tour prospects no end. A few drivers, Sami Taufik, soaking up the applause from the home fans there. Superb performance from Sami as well. 6th position at the line for the Volcano Motorsports driver. Good stuff from Sami Taufik, all the way from the back of the grid. Disappointing qualifying. Turned that around in race 2 and got himself a very good drive. Pretty much the mover of the day, and certainly the man that had most of the entertainment focused on him over the course of this race. The one this morning was a little bit of a slow burner, but it certainly wasn't the case in race 2. Great stuff from all concerned, and in particular Sami Taufik in that 6th position. Still waiting for confirmation exactly what's happening with Bebu Girolami, so I'll bring you that information as and when I can. Norbert Michaelis, the damaged Norbert Michaelis, crosses the line courtesy of all those retirements and dramas ahead in 11th position. So that's a good get-out-of-jail-free card for Norby with lap 1 damage. Handshakes all round though for Sami Taufik, a cheer of the crowd, and handshakes and hugs all round for Ma Qinghua. Incredible, incredible drive from Ma. He's got his flag as well to wave proudly aloft, and that was a very, very good drive indeed. Ma can be devastatingly quick on his day, as he proved on several occasions last season, and he's delivered once again here in Marrakesh. Superb stuff. Hugs there for Dusan Borkovic as well, that you see to the left of your screen. There is Dusan. Don't drop him because it's very high up. He's a big chap. Lovely guy though, Dusan Borkovic. Very competitive, fast driver. 3rd position. It's a good result for him. And there is Ma on top of the car. Flag. Wow, he's found some wind. That's lucky around these parts in Marrakesh. It's a very hot day. Flag. Go on, Ma, you can do it. There you go, son. Not as good at wrapping a flag around as you are as driving a touring car. But there is Ma Qinghua. In a few moments' time, we will speak to our race winner. Alex Le Gui is waiting down there patiently, microphone in hand, for Ma just to finish his celebrations, taking the applause of team and crowd. Great performance from the number 155, and that will give him plenty of confidence indeed. In fact, there we go, just lining up and getting ready. Big hug from Esteban Gurrieri as well. Good camaraderie between those two drivers. And let's head down and have a word with our race winner, Ma Qinghua. He's with Alex Le Gui on pit lane.
Well, that was more like it. What an entertaining race 2 that was. Thanks very much to you and the rest of the pack. Ma, congratulations. A nice win for you and the team.
Yeah, I'm super happy. Well, has been raced here before, but this is my first victory, so I'm gonna enjoy a lot. And thank you all the guys from the team, from the Link & Co, from GD Motorsport, and of course big thanks for all the audience and the people here in the paddock to witness my victory. So I'm really happy.
Great start, dominant off the line. Were you even slightly aware of the drama behind you into that turn 1?
It's a little bit, but I know I can manage. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah.
Congratulations, well done, well deserved.
Cheers.
Can we get a picture with you? Can I get a picture with you?
Well done and well deserved indeed for Ma Qinghua. That was a great performance for the Link & Co Cyan racing driver. Superb end result for him. Converted pole position, not the easiest of tasks, with a hungry pair of GOAT Racing Hondas behind you. Converted pole position expertly for the run down into T1. Stayed out of trouble, delivered consistent lap times in that car. Never put a foot wrong, so very easy to do so on this circuit. And a win is his victory. So let's take a look at some of the highlights from from the second race of the weekend here in Marrakesh.
The race of Morocco. This is the Kumo FIA TCR. Please welcome onto the podium your third position driver from Goat Racing. It's Dusan Borkovic. Your second position driver, also from Goat Racing, is Esteban Guerrieri. And your winning driver from Lincoln Coast Cyan Racing, it's Ma Jinghua. Representing Lincoln Coast Cyan Racing is Thomas Nass. And now for the national anthem for Ma Jinghua. Please welcome the Bali Governor de la Region de Marrakesh, Farid Chourak, who will be presenting the third position trophy to Goat Racing's Dusan Borkovic.
We give you the third day.
Yes.
Just give you the third day.
Please welcome Abderrahim Abdain to present the third position trophy to Dusan Borkovic. And now,
Now, Mr. Schwartz. Yes.
and now, the Valley Governor de la Region de Marrakesh, Farid Chourak, will be presenting the second position trophy to Goat Racing's Esteban Guerrieri. The Minister of Education, National et Sports, Shakib Ben Moussa, will present the winning driver trophy to Lincoln Coat Racing, Marching Hua. Please welcome Shakib Moussa once again to present the winning team trophy to Thomas Nash of Scion Racing, Lincoln Co. Please now come together for your official photograph. Please grab your bottles. Let's party!
Superb stuff then. The celebrations are already underway for what has been a cracking round 4 of the Kumo FIA TCR World Tour. Here, the race of Morocco on the circuit Moulay Al Hassan never fails to produce an incredible racing experience. And once again, we've had exactly that. Spills and thrills aplenty. But Marching Hua was the man. At the end of the day, they came out on top of everybody, from Esteban Guerrieri and Dusan Borkovic. John Philippi and Bebu Girolami were 4th and 5th position. Sami Taufik in 6th from Marco Butti. Santiago Urrutia crossed the line in 8th after dramas off the line. Dramas that also befell teammate Ted Bjork, 9th at the flag, ahead of Mehdi Banani on his return to touring car competition, securing a top 10. Norbert Michaelis, minus the front of his car, finished in 11th, ahead of Victor Fernandez in 12th, and then Mikel Afkona 1 lap down with some dramas aboard his BRC, Jan Elishay and Julian Piguet failing to make the line. Plenty of people here in Marrakesh enjoying the sunshine and enjoying the best of what Tin Top TCR touring cars has to offer. It's been an incredible day. Norbert Michaelis, despite his dramas, holds on to the front of the Kumo FIA TCR World Tour standings. Just 11 points separate him and Santiago Urrutia. 15 joint points on 82 in 3rd and 4th for Jan Elishay and Bebu Girolami. Esteban Guerrieri just 20 in arrears in 5th, 28 points back is Mikel Afkona. Marching Hua has done the world of good to his championship charge. He's now 7th in the standings. Sami Taufik eventually getting off the line with a good points haul as well. He's 11th in the overall standings, and then several drivers that have come in as guest appearances for the Kumo TCR World Tour, headed by 3rd place finisher Dusan Borkovic. I don't know about you folks at home, but I thoroughly enjoyed that one. And we're out in action again in mid-Ohio on the weekend of the 7th and 8th of June. So give us a like and subscribe on the TCR TV YouTube channel. My name has been Paul Jeffrey, and from each and every one of us here in Marrakesh, it's been a pleasure to have your company during the course of this race. And until next time, I wish you the very best. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for watching, and from us all, goodbye.